settle in. We're about to take a journey deep into the folklore of the Venezuelan plains. This is a place where shadows, well, they seem to have a life of their own. And this story, it's about a spirit born from pure jealousy and a terrible, terrible vengeance. Tonight, right now, just before you close your eyes, we're going to travel to a place where a beautiful figure wanders the lonely roads, just waiting, maybe for you. I want you to really picture this. Imagine the vast, empty plains and the dense jungles of Venezuela. The air is warm, right? The night is just buzzing with the sounds of insects, and every single rustle of leaves could be something more. This is her hunting ground. Because the story I'm about to share with you, it is one of the most feared in all of Latin American folklore. This is the story of La Sayona. You know, every monster has an origin story. Before she was this terrifying specter, she was a human woman named Juana. And her story, well, it's an absolute tragedy. So Juana, by all accounts, was perfect. Known throughout her entire village as this model daughter and a completely loving wife. Her beauty was apparently so striking that people were often a little intimidated to even look at her directly. But underneath that perfect surface was a deep, all-consuming fear of betrayal. And then, one evening, a neighbor whispers a rumor in her ear that her husband was seeing another woman. And this wasn't just any affair. No, the rumor suggested the betrayal was happening at her own mother's home. That little seed of doubt was planted, and it grew into a fire of pure, uncontrollable rage. Completely blinded by jealousy and this profound sense of betrayal, Juana raced to her mother's house. She didn't ask questions. She didn't wait for any kind of explanation. All she saw was conspiracy and deceit, and in just a single moment of madness, she struck her own mother down. As her mother lay dying, she looked right into her daughter's eyes and spoke a curse that would echo across the plains for centuries to come. You will become an eternal soul, condemned to hunt unfaithful men. And with those words, Juana the human was gone, and in her place, a new, terrifying entity was born, La Sayona. So, okay, Juana's gone, replaced by this vengeful spirit. But how does she appear? What do her victims actually experience in that final horrible encounter? The travelers who claim they've seen her, they all say the encounter always begins the exact same way. It starts on a lonely road, late at night. First, you hear it, a faint, sorrowful whisper on the wind. Then you see her, a figure in white, with long, dark hair covering her face. As she gets closer, you're just stunned by her beauty. It's almost hypnotic. And her voice is so sweet when she asks you to just walk with her for a little bit. But that's where the illusion ends. And this is where the promise turns into a total nightmare. That sweet voice becomes an inhuman shriek. The perfect body decays right before your eyes, the skin peeling back to reveal a charred skeleton. And that enchanting perfume, it turns into the foul stench of death. For those who get too close, for anyone who falls for her trap, this is the final image burned into their minds. A face contorted in absolute rage, eyes like burning coals, and a mouth split into this terrifying grin, revealing long, sharp fangs. So what is her purpose? Why does she wander the earth? Well, her mother's curse defined her entire eternal mission. She is a hunter. La Sayona doesn't appear to just anyone. Her targets are specific. She seeks out men who are unfaithful, men who lie, and men who are carrying dark secrets. In her own twisted way, you could say she's an instrument of justice. And this is what makes her so terrifying. It's not just about catching someone in the act. The legend says she has a supernatural sense. She is drawn to the scent of forbidden desires and the guilt of betrayal. She is, for all intents and purposes, a guilty conscience made real. A legend is just a story until you hear the eyewitness accounts. These are the tales that are told around campfires, the stories that have kept the fear of La Sayona alive for generations. I mean, can you imagine? You're a lone cowboy riding across the plains at night, and suddenly, you're not alone. There's a figure in white keeping pace with your galloping horse, just gliding effortlessly over the rough ground, her feet never once touching the soil. One of the most famous tales is about a man who, after a big argument with his wife, went out looking for, well, comfort elsewhere. On a dark path, he saw this beautiful woman beckoning him from the shadows. Her perfume was intoxicating. Her figure was perfect. He thought it was his lucky night. So he moves in to kiss her, but the moment their lips touched, the whole illusion just shattered. Instead of softness, his mouth was filled with this dry, choking ash. He opened his eyes and saw he was holding a burnt, rotting corpse, its torso split wide open like a hunted animal. He was found the next day, alive, but without his memory, his voice, or his sanity. So why do we tell this story? I mean, why does the legend of La Sayona endure? It's much more than just a spooky story to scare people. It's a reminder. In many communities, she represents a kind of ancestral justice. See, legends like this are often born from a society's deepest anxieties, and they serve as a powerful warning against breaking the rules. She's a tool to enforce fidelity, really, a cultural symbol that protects the family by promising a terrifying consequence for those who break their vows. So as you lie there tonight, in the quiet of your room, listen closely. If you happen to hear a soft whisper on the wind, or maybe you see a shadow move where it shouldn't, don't be afraid. The legend is clear after all. She only comes for those with something to hide. And with that thought, try to get some rest. Sleep well, if you can.